What happens when nothing is wrong, but nothing feels right either? What if I told you that your anxiety isn't a malfunction but a message? Picture this. You're lying in bed at 2:43 a.m., staring at the ceiling. Your chest is tight, your breath shallow. You've done everything right, ate clean, meditated for 5 minutes, stayed off your phone, well, mostly. And yet, here you are again, drenched in invisible tension, like your body is bracing for an impact that never comes. Now, consider this. You live in the safest, most technologically advanced society in human history. No wild beasts hunting you, no immediate famine, no plague knocking on your door. And yet, your nervous system is screaming like you're in a war zone. Isn't that strange? Did you know that despite material abundance, rates of anxiety and depression are higher than ever recorded in human history? How can a generation with more comfort be more tormented than those who lived through famines, wars, and plagues? How can someone be surrounded by people, messages, likes, and still feel profoundly alone? You tell yourself it's burnout, overthinking. Maybe it's just who you are. But what if anxiety isn't a symptom to suppress, but a signal you've misunderstood? What if the modern world didn't eliminate fear but refined it into something quieter, something more corrosive? Why are you so anxious? Maybe it's not your fault. Maybe it's not even you. But if it isn't, then what is it? Let's go deeper. The real answer has been hiding in plain sight, buried in the psyche, in the structures of our society, and in the ancient philosophies we've long forgotten. Close your eyes and imagine this. You're a machine built for survival in the wilderness, wired to scan for danger, tuned to the rhythm of nature, forged in stillness and silence. But now, you live in a world where your predator wears no face, no claws, no teeth, just deadlines, algorithms, and expectations. You were designed to run from lions. But now, you're running from yourself. Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul." What if your anxiety is not just about stress or trauma, but about disconnection from your essence? You've become a stranger to yourself, edited, filtered, optimized for performance, but empty beneath the surface. And society applauds you for it. From the moment you're born, you're handed a script. Be productive, be attractive, be successful. But you were never asked what you truly are beneath those masks. Friedrich Nietzsche warned of the herd morality, a value system not born of truth, but conformity. Your anxiety may not be a disorder. It may be your soul revolting against a life that betrays its truth. Aldous Huxley envisioned a dystopia not of pain, but of pleasure. A world where people are so entertained, so pacified, they no longer realize they're caged. That's the world we inherited. Endless dopamine hits, infinite scroll, but no meaning. This is the hidden problem. You are spiritually starved in a world that feeds you everything but yourself. The more you try to adapt, the more alienated you become from your inner world. You chase calm, but your nervous system knows something is wrong. You feel anxious not because you're weak, but because you're still awake. Still sensitive enough to notice that something has gone deeply, existentially wrong. And this awareness, this unbearable alertness, is only the beginning, because the consequences of ignoring it run far deeper than you think. Now, imagine trying to hold your breath underwater just for a minute. At first, it's manageable. Your body resists, but you endure. But then the pressure builds. The lungs tighten. Panic rises. This is your daily reality, but the suffocation isn't physical, it's psychological. You are gasping for stillness in a world addicted to motion. The most dangerous part? You've been trained to think this is normal. That anxiety is just part of modern life. You wear it like a badge of ambition, the hustle, the grind. But beneath the surface, something ancient is breaking. You've forgotten how to rest without guilt, how to exist without performing. Your mind is never quiet because silence feels like failure. Even your relaxation is monetized. Guided meditations, productivity podcasts, 5-minute yoga sessions squeezed between notifications. This isn't just a feeling, it's a neurological rewiring. Your brain's fear circuits, once designed to alert you to real threats, are now triggered by emails, by unread messages, by the absence of constant feedback. Dopamine loops hijack your attention, turning you into a compulsive scroller. Cortisol leaks into your bloodstream, day after day, like a slow poison. But it goes deeper still. The more anxious you become, the more disconnected you feel from others and from yourself. You withdraw. You overthink every word, every glance. You lose your trust in your intuition. And worst of all, you stop asking why. You accept this as the way things are. You stop noticing you're underwater. You see, anxiety isn't just a personal issue. It's a cultural epidemic disguised as individual weakness. It keeps you obedient, distracted, endlessly chasing. It thrives in systems that benefit from your insecurity. And unless you confront it, unless you rebel against it, it will quietly rob you of everything that matters. But what if you didn't play by those rules anymore? What if the system itself was the illusion? Then, the only sane response would be rebellion. Let's dive into a moment, not from now, but from history. Imagine a man walking alone through a snow-covered forest in Switzerland. He's not fleeing anything, nor chasing anyone, just listening. To the wind, to the crackling frost beneath his boots, to the war raging quietly inside his mind. That man is Carl Jung, and in that solitude, he begins to peel away every mask society placed upon him. This was his rebellion, the refusal to be anything other than radically, painfully, unapologetically himself. This kind of rebellion isn't loud. It's not about slogans or protests. It's about reclaiming your inner authority, choosing to feel instead of numb, choosing silence over noise, choosing presence over performance. Breaking free begins when you no longer ask, "How can I be less anxious?" but instead ask, "What is my anxiety trying to tell me about the life I'm living?" Viktor Frankl, imprisoned in the unspeakable horror of a concentration camp, discovered something life-changing, that freedom is not the absence of suffering, but the power to choose one's response to it. Your power lies in meaning, not in numbing anxiety, but in decoding it. Start small. Unplug not for productivity, but for recovery. Question every should in your life. Sit in stillness not to become better, but to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. Reject the myth of constant optimization. You are not a machine. You are a mystery. Stop trying to fix yourself. Begin trying to find yourself. Because to be calm in a world designed to keep you frantic is not weakness, it is war. And when you finally stop playing the game, you don't just ease your anxiety, you transcend it. But there is still one final truth, one that changes everything, one that most people never dare to face. Are you ready to see it? The ultimate truth. Now, consider this. What if your anxiety is not a malfunction, not a message, but a mirror? A mirror, reflecting the fracture between the life you're living and the life you were meant to live. You've spent years trying to manage, suppress, escape. But what if the real problem was never the anxiety itself, but the truth it's been pointing to all along? Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "Man is nothing else but what he makes of himself." But in a world that predefines your worth, your path, your pace, your purpose, you've been sculpted by outside hands. Your anxiety is the silent scream of your authentic self, begging you to stop becoming what you're not. And here's the truth you may have feared, but need to hear. Anxiety is not the enemy. It's the alarm clock. waking you from a life of sleepwalking, waking you to the unbearable weight of unlived potential. The final realization is this: your suffering is sacred, not because it's pleasant, but because it's honest. It doesn't lie. It doesn't flatter. It reveals where you've betrayed your soul. It shows you where you're misaligned with meaning. Your job is not to numb it, outrun it, or silence it. Your job is to listen. Because beneath every spike of panic is a buried truth. Beneath every wave of dread is a longing to be whole. You are not here to be calm. You are here to be conscious. And in that awareness, everything changes. So the next time you ask, "Why am I so anxious?" don't run from the question. Follow it. Because that trembling may just be the first sign that you're finally waking up. To a life that's real. To a self that's free. To a truth that's been whispering all along. You were never broken. You were just being called back to yourself.